yes, you got the job. Yes, it's okay to be excited, but don't be so eager that you kind of sell yourself short. Hey guys, it's Noelle. So I thought I would make this video. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to get a job, but I thought it'd be funny to kind of document the highs and lows of finding a new job. So I just had my first interview for a position in informatics. I sweat through my shirt just like I always do with any interviews or things like that because I just get nervous. I think it went pretty well, but camera just died. But I think it went pretty well. I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm telling myself, didn't get the job, who cares? I don't need it. But I will find out next week if I get a second interview. Woohoo! But I'm gonna continue to apply to jobs because, like I said, didn't get the job, don't need it. And we will just continue as on. But I thought, you know, this interview process is a lot different from nursing and I don't know what I'm getting myself into. So I thought I would just document. Like I said, I don't know how long it's gonna take me to get a job, but today is the start, even though I've been applying to jobs for like 6 months. Today is the start of the vlog, the video, whatever, because I had my first interview. So I'm counting today as day one until I find a job. Let's see how many interviews, how many jobs, how many days, I don't know, but we're doing it. Hey everybody, I forgot I was making this video about my job search. Today is January 12th. I just had my second interview. Woo! So still for the same job. I'll find out in like a week maybe. They said middle of next week, so a week if I got the job or not, I guess. Still gonna be applying for jobs, still on the grind. Just taking this as a learning experience, trying not to get too excited, but I did kill the interview. But yeah, it's been a long search. Like I said, I've been applying to jobs since like middle of last year, took a break, and then really started applying seriously like 3 jobs a day in December. It's now January, so it's been a full month of really locking it down. I just started school again yesterday, so now I gotta balance that into the mix and figure it out, but we're doing it. Okay, so I'm in the same spot I think this entire video, but an update on the job search. I got a job offer today. Today is January 31st. It's been a long journey, a lot of waiting. Once I accept the job officially, I'll explain more how this job came about. I have been slacking on applying to jobs. I applied to one job, I think like 2 days ago, but since the new year, I haven't really been on my job applying game, but today I got an offer, so that's really exciting. It was very unexpected. I am vlogging today as well, so there will be a vlog, like just like a couple days in my life vlog up before this video. So if you guys want to check that out, feel free to do, because that was kind of all my initial reaction to getting this call and this job offer. Check that out, and hopefully tomorrow I can have more information for you guys and update you guys. Hello, I am coming on here February 7th, 2022, and I've officially accepted the job. Yeah, I just wanted to come on here and say that real quick because I just did it and it's nerve-wracking and exciting, and later on today I will sit down and like just kind of go over the process and maybe like questions you should ask your employer and maybe like interview questions and like things like that. But I accepted. I have a new job officially. Yay! I put my 2 weeks in already and I'll have a week off between jobs. That will be exciting. It's happening. Today is February 25th and I'm coming to finally end this video and kind of just recap what happened and also give you guys some advice if you guys are looking to change careers or you're finding a new job, about what things like you should expect and maybe like questions you should ask, and then also just general things you should know about the interview process and finding a new job. Basically, this whole process has taken me about like 3 months. I started applying to jobs probably, I would say in December, and then I didn't hear back until in January from my interview. Well, I had 2 interviews for this specific job. The first interview happened, and then probably like a week later, my second interview happened, and then I didn't hear back until like 2 weeks later after that interview, and I myself had to reach out to the job people and being like, hey, what's up? What's happening? Haven't heard from you guys. Just because it was longer than they had told me I would hear back, I wouldn't advise just like, you know, right off the bat being like, okay, like any word. But if it's longer than what they told you, like I had my second interview and they told me, okay, you'll hear back by the end of next week. It had been almost a week later than that point, and so that's why I reached out. I also had another interview within the same kind of umbrella that was supposed to happen that wasn't happening. So if you guys are ever in that same boat, it's fine to ask for clarification, but like I said, don't sound like too eager. Like, give them some time. If it's been like 2 weeks and they said you'd hear it back after a week, feel free to be like, hey, what's up? I'm still really interested in this job. Do you think I'll hear back anytime soon? Kind of that sort of vibe. After I got the job offer, I had to officially sign something online. The verbal agreement wasn't the official agreement, and the online thing was basically, this is the salary we agreed upon, and this is my job description. After that whole process, the big boss lady asked me to fill out a survey just so she could write up some information about me to say like, hey, Noelle's joining our team. This is a little bit about her, and that email went out to, honestly, don't know how many people, but just so people can know who I am and know that a new team member is joining. Besides accepting the offer online, doing an onboarding process, which was like filling out all this paperwork online, signing agreements, signing, okay, like this addendum and that and this and whatever, basically just agreeing to a bunch of stuff. And then after that, then the survey. And since then I haven't really been doing anything, but I start work in 3 days. So I'm sure I'll find out a lot more information on day one. That's pretty much the recap. It took around 3 months to get everything started. And so now I just kind of want to talk about the interview process and then also things that I've learned along the way. If you guys didn't know already, I'm coming from being a bedside nurse into kind of like the IT field a little bit. It is informatics, but the informatics team works very closely with the IT team. In terms of interviews, as a nurse, I'm very used to kind of scenario based, or what if this happened, or if you were in this situation, how would you deal with it? That's the interview questions that I was like coming from. The interview questions for this job were a lot more straightforward. They were basically like, tell me about yourself. Why do you want this job? Where do you see yourself in, 5 years, or where do you see yourself going with this career? They asked me about a group setting. What's the biggest asset to a group? One question that they asked me was like, how would you describe your personality? Another question was, if you feel stressed, how would I know? So I feel like the questions they asked me in these interviews were a lot more like, okay, it's not like, let me think back to college and what did I learn in college, or I had this life experience and how did I handle it? It was more like, okay, this is stuff that I know that like, it just comes easy to me. They're questions that like, I feel like anyone would kind of ask you, and you already kind of had the answers in your head. So that was one big thing. The interview process was a lot easier. I feel like, even though I did have to go through 2 different interviews, which I've never done that before. The only thing I would say that was a little intimidating was the fact that there were like 5 people on each interview. And usually with a nurse, like, unless you go in and do like a peer interview, it's usually just like a manager and maybe one other person. But on each of these calls, it was like 5 people, and each person kind of had questions for me. But like I said, the questions I feel like were more of like a conversation than like I'm the person getting interviewed and they have questions for me, if that makes sense. And I don't know if that was just the people I was interviewing with or if it was the style of interview, but like I said, I felt a lot more comfortable. Besides the interview process, just things that I've learned throughout this process of just having a different dynamic between like my boss and myself. For one, negotiate your salary. I saw this TikTok, actually, a good question to ask about salary is, for my position, what is the salary range? Ask that in the initial interview, because usually with the initial interview, they don't know if they're gonna hire you, and therefore they don't know what your salary would be, or you don't even have that discussion. Ask that when they say, do you have any questions for us? And that way, if they do offer you the position, then they give you maybe like the bottom of the salary range, and you're like, okay, well, people are making up to, let's just say 100K in this job, and they offer you 70, and you're like, that's a big difference. And then you ask for 80, and maybe they come back at 75. you're still getting 5,000 more than you would have. I also mentioned in a previous video, don't be afraid to do your research. Ask people that you might know who are in similar positions, or maybe you got a recommendation from someone. Ask them how much they make, or just do your research in your area, your job title. There's a lot of information like on Indeed, and just Google this information and it'll pop up, and then that will also give you a better idea of how much you should ask for. Another thing is, yes, you got the job. Yes, it's okay to be excited, but don't be so eager that you kind of sell yourself short. So that kind of goes along with negotiating. This happened to me as well, but I was very tempted to be like, oh my God, I got a job. I'm getting out of nursing. Like, let me just accept the first offer. But as excited as you are and as awesome as it is that you got this job, you have to step back and just be like, okay, are the benefits good? Or is the PTO good? Like, do I get sick days? Is the salary good? There's a lot to consider other than just like, I got a job offer, let me accept it. The person hiring you or your boss even, like, in the end, this is a job. It's a pretty much a transaction. They're paying you to do a certain job. My biggest advice is to look out for yourself. Ask a friend, a family member for a second opinion. Always let them know, I'm so excited for this job, but let me think about it. Even if you accept later that day, or even if you accept the next day, like, take a second to just think about it. Let the excitement kind of level out and put your kind of reason cap on. I had Justin look at a lot of the things and go over questions I had, and also ask other questions that I didn't think of or know to ask. So I think that's super important, getting a second opinion. And then also kind of going along with that, for my job specifically, the day she offered me the job, she was like, oh, can you start in 2 weeks? And I was like, well, for one, I didn't even have time to negotiate my salary. And then on top of that, I didn't officially accept the job. I got the job offer, but I didn't officially accept it. They hadn't sent me an offer letter, and they didn't do that for probably 3 days after I got the offer. So if I had put my 2 weeks in and then something went wrong and they weren't able to offer me that job, and I didn't have that letter and I wasn't able to sign that letter, then I would have been out of work, and obviously that's not a good scenario. Again, that goes with the excitement of the job. Yes, good job, you did it. Go you, but I'm not gonna put my life essentially online just because I got this job, I'm super excited, I wanna accept it right away. No, I need to make sure I have an official offer. I need to, go through the formalities of quitting my old job, because that also looks bad and that could go on your record if you're trying to find a job later down the line. So you want to officially quit the other job, put your 2 weeks in, your 3 weeks in, some jobs even require 4 weeks. Do that properly, and then once you have figured that out, agree upon a start date and figure the rest out. So that was one thing. Like, I felt pressure to kind of like, okay, she wants me to start this day. I'm excited for this job. I want to show her that I'm excited for this job. So I'm going to start on the start date that she wants me to start on. But no, like I said, go through all the formalities, make sure you're doing everything right, and then start your new job. Another thing that happened to me is that she wanted me to push back my start date after she hired someone else at another hospital so that we could start at the same time, just because for onboarding purposes, it would be a little bit easier for her. And again, it's like, okay, I want her to know that I'm flexible. I want her to know that, I can move around things if need be. But at the same time, then it's like, then I'm not getting paid for an extra 2 weeks because I already put in my 2 weeks for my other job and that ends at this date. Okay, again, looking out for myself, I don't want to be not paid for 3 weeks. 1 week is fine because that's a good transition phase for me, going from night shift to day shift, part-time to full-time. I can kind of adjust my schedule, but having 3 weeks without being paid, that's almost a month, and that's almost 2 paychecks. That's a long time without being paid. Again, this is something I ran by Justin, and he was like, why would you move your date? So that's something for him that's like no brainer. But for me, I'm kind of learning the dynamics between like a new boss now and myself as the employee. Like I've been saying this whole time, you want to look out for yourself. In the end, it's just a job. Don't feel obligated. Don't feel like if you go against what they're saying that they're gonna like fire you or like take back the job offer. You officially signed. They can't do that. They're just trying to figure out something that works better for them, and it's okay if you say no. Don't automatically just say yes. Like, think about it. Fine if it works out for you too, if it works with your schedule and you guys both can agree on something, that's great. But if it doesn't, it is what it is. The takeaway is basically negotiate your salary, look out for yourself, and don't let the excitement kind of take away your mind of reason. Obviously, like I said, I was super excited. I almost didn't negotiate my salary. I didn't do anything and was like, okay, I will take the job. Like, I need to get away from nursing. I need this job. This is a great stepping stone for me. All right, this is editing Noelle. Just coming here to like summarize everything I just said because I didn't like how I ended it. But basically what I'm trying to say is know your worth. Yes, you are looking for a job, but you can also be selective. Don't let the job choose you. Like, you have a say in the job as well, if that makes sense. Like, yes, they're interviewing you. Yes, they are looking at your resume and choosing and selecting who they want in that position, but you have just as much power to choose whatever job fits best for you and like what pay, if you're not happy with the pay, if you're not happy with the benefits, if you're not happy with the schedule, time off, whatever it is, like you have just as much power as that job to choose whatever makes you happy. I hope this all makes sense and I hope this helps you guys in your next journey. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. I just wanted to make this because I feel like I learned a lot in this situation. I hope I articulated that well in this video. But yeah, also if you guys have learned anything, tips and tricks you guys have for new jobs or the interview process or the onboarding process, anything like that, comment down below. If you guys like this video, give a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.